All right, hello everyone. We're going to be finishing up our questions for atheists today. This is part 3. We're going to be covering questions 11 through 15. So let's get started. If every law needs a lawgiver, does it not make sense to say that a moral law needs a moral lawgiver? Show me that every law needs a lawgiver because, as far as I can tell, laws in nature are just repeated observations that have been tested and found to be consistent and, as far as we can tell, true. Science really doesn't put a lot of true claims out there, but one of the things that they do when they do say, "Hey, this is a law. This is a repeated process. We've tested this." They'll call it a law. So yeah, that would be us just kind of putting names on things, on repeated observations. If, however, you're talking about societal laws, then yeah, we kind of dictate what our laws are. But as far as I can tell, like natural laws and stuff are not dictated by anyone or anything. So no, it doesn't make sense that a law would need a lawgiver necessarily. Number 12. Would you agree that if it took intelligence to make a model universe in a science lab, then it took super intelligence to make the real universe? No, I do not agree because to say that a model was created implies that you have an intelligent being who is able to observe and comprehend and recreate something that has been observed or felt or something of that nature. So if we're talking about making a model of the universe in let's just say it's like our solar system, okay? We're able to do that because we have telescopes and we've observed the planets and stuff, and we've observed through our satellite systems and like Voyager and stuff, the different planetary images and what they look like. So we're able to create that because we are an intelligent being. But to say that the universe is a model is kind of like an argument from analogy, and it kind of falls apart at that point because you're saying just because we can create a model, that means that the universe is a model and therefore God did it. And that kind of doesn't really pan out when you take it to that level. So 13. Would you agree that it takes a cause to make a small glass ball found in the woods? Um, yeah, sure, I would say that because glass doesn't seem to be naturally. Well, I don't want to say that. A glass seems to always have been the result of extreme heat, such as lightning or a volcano, or in the case of man-made objects, furnaces and things of that nature. So to say a glass ball, I would say, yeah, it would need a cause because that doesn't seem to be something that just happens without sand being melted or rock being melted to some degree. So, would you agree that making the ball larger does not eliminate the need for a cause? Uh, no. Pretty sure just because if an object gets larger doesn't mean that it doesn't need a cause. If so, then doesn't the biggest ball of all, the whole universe, need a cause? See, again, this is another argument from analogy because the universe, as far as I know, how do you know it's a ball? How do you know what it looks like? You don't fucking know. Show me the picture of the universe that you fucking took. This is an argument from analogy and it falls apart. there's absolutely no reason to assume that a glass ball is anything like planetary formation, star formation, or the universe formation, okay? There's absolutely no fucking reason to believe that those two things correlate in any goddamn way. So go fuck yourself. Is if there is a cause beyond the whole finite limited universe, would not this cause have to be beyond the finite, namely non-infinite, non-finite or infinite? Show me a cause beyond the universe. Show me a beyond the universe. As far as I can tell, there is no such thing. Show me what you got, bitch. Because I got no reason to believe that there's a beyond the universe, let alone that that it's a God, because that's kind of what you're implying here, right? This is a Christian website. All right, number 15. Excuse me. In light of the anthropic principle that the universe was finely tuned for the emergence of life from its very inception, that's not what the anthropic principle is, and that's just a misconception on your part. The anthropic principle is scientists trying to figure out how life emerged, because it seems like life, the things that had to happen for life to occur are so just minute chance. It's like an itty bitty it's not quite zero, but it almost should be. It's like really a lot of shit had to happen a very specific way in order for life to emerge. And the anthropic principle is the study of how that happened, because as far as we can tell, it's like this, it seems unlikely that life should have emerged, and yet life emerged. So that's what the anthropic principle is. It's not saying that the universe was finely tuned for the emergence of life. It's trying to figure out how life, the impact the universe has on life, and how that happened. Okay, that's what the anthropic principle is. So they're misunderstanding the anthropic principle here. So, in light of the anthropic principle, wouldn't it make sense to say there was an intelligent being who pre-planned human life? No, I would not. Just because something is unlikely does not mean that it did not happen. Now, with extraordinary claims, there needs to be extraordinary evidence as well, but just because it's unlikely that I'll be hit by a bus when I step off the curb, that does not mean that a couple years ago a guy stepped off the curb and didn't get hit by a bus, because it did happen. So just because something is unlikely doesn't mean that it's impossible. So I would not say that that life was pre-planned. That's your misconception on what the anthropic principle actually states. And I kind of think that this is sort of a gotcha question for people of low intelligence who don't understand what these principles and these scientific laws are, and how shit works. And these is just gotchas for lazy thinkers. I really think this is just it's bullshit. And once you start a little bit of critical thinking, you'll figure out it's bullshit. And hopefully I get another message saying that I killed a Jesus belief, because I've gotten two. I'm working on a third, but we'll see on that one. But yeah, I hope that that you've enjoyed these, and my answers to them. Maybe we'll cover questions for agnostics. I said maybe. I wasn't really sure. I love how there's 3 questions for Buddhists and 4 clarifying questions for Buddhists. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. We'll check it out and we'll see. That's it for tonight, guys. Bye-bye.